Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Winston Churchill, visits Canadian troops of the 8th Army on his tour through Italy. Mr. Churchill has good news.
One has great hope that the time of our toils and labours may be much nearer its conclusion than we have hitherto allowed ourselves to hope. It is the most representative of all the British armies of the strength, variety, loyalty, elasticity, integrity, and unity of the British Commonwealth and Empire. The Canadians, I don't know whether it fell to your lot, long guarded the capital of the Empire. They thirsted, when the danger of invasion passed away, they thirsted to go forward. They had a long wait, but their turn has come. And whether here or on the fields of Normandy, they are everywhere showing those splendid fighting qualities, that genius in combat by which the road to victory is most quickly built. I wish you all good fortune, all success. God bless you all.
Cheers for the Prime Minister! Hip hip! Hey! Hip hip! Hey! Hip hip! Hey!
In Normandy, the lads of the 1st Canadian Army play host to a large group of French kiddies. Everything is provided to make the party a jolly one, even a clown. Sapper Bédard is a funny man in grease paint who finds himself the outstanding hit of the occasion. Hailing from Quebec City, he sings and jokes in the kiddies' own language. Everything is strange and wonderful to the little toddlers. Their lot has been to live amid the horrors of war. That is all done with now. There will be many more grand parties before their Canadian cousins leave for home. The most important time in any party is when the eats are handed out. And what eats? Marvelous things called donuts and tasty tidbits some of the little people have never tasted before. Come on there, fellas. It's everybody for himself today. With the Falaise Gap closed, utter confusion reigns within the encircled German 7th Army. After mercilessly pounding the crumbling enemy ranks with rockets and shells, Canadian infantry move in to capture the remains. Caution is necessary because the enemy still shows his teeth. Occasional futile counterattacks still are attempted in an endeavor to break out of the hell on earth. Most of the men are only too eager to give up. Russians pressed into labor services give our men valuable information regarding enemy positions. Nazis are then blown out of their holes with machine guns. Soon, a steady stream of prisoners pours in as the pocket is chopped up into ever smaller groups. Officers question prisoners on the fly before routing them back to the nearest prisoner of war cage. Over 150 were captured by one Canadian, Private E.H. McCallister of Hamilton, Ontario, who rides herd in a captured Jerry Jeep. When all the counting has been done, the Falaise pocket has yielded between 42 and 45,000 prisoners. They trickle in groups back on the lines of communication to the first large concentration area, which is at Corps. There, they are documented. They are then left to await the next stage of their journey. One 13-year-old Ukrainian works as stable boy. A German doctor bandages a cut finger. With supply lines cut and food non-existent, some of the Jerrys haven't had anything to eat or drink for several days. Ravenously, they eat whatever's handed to them by their Canadian captors. And now, they're away on another lap of the journey. The next stop is Army, and from there, imprisonment for the duration. Flash! world-famous celebrities visit 1st Canadian Army headquarters. Captain the Honourable Anthony Eden, Foreign Secretary of the British Cabinet, is welcomed by General Crerar. Always a favourite in Canada, Anthony Eden renews old acquaintances and forms many new friendships at Army headquarters. Prince Bernhard, Prince Consort of the Netherlands, is in France to inspect Dutch troops under the command of the 1st Canadian Army. He is OC Dutch Forces of the Interior. Before visiting his countrymen, the Prince pays his respects to General Crerar. The Guard of Honor, which will accompany him on his tour, is inspected at Army headquarters. Flash, the first contingent of quacks arrives in Normandy. All are in excellent health and spirits. The only complaints are the Normandy dust and a few red noses from the intense sun. Their first question on landing is, where's the Canadian front line? There's no more feather beds for the duration. It's camp kit from now on. The girls are here to take over clerical duties at first echelon. Flash, the smoke eaters of the Army Fire Service are on the job in Normandy. An Army lorry takes the place of a shiny red fire wagon, and the boys really know their stuff. Anything that burns from a jeep to a headquarters receives prompt attention. Having qualified in a hard school, the fire laddies find very little time for checkers around the station house. Composed mainly of peacetime firefighters, the Army Fire Service does valuable work even in frontline areas. Flash, the Nazis used dummy tanks to delude our reconnaissance units. Mounted on French farm carts, the dummies are built to full-scale size. They are designed to draw our fire and fool our spotter planes. Flash, flamethrowers are used in the advance in France. Now the story can be told of how enemy troops were literally roasted out of their positions by our fast-moving torches of death. Canadians are the best trained troops in flame warfare. They introduced this Allied method of attack at the start of the invasion. Jerry used flamethrowers for reducing the fortifications and as terror weapons. Largely a Canadian development, the Wasp achieved complete technical and tactical surprise. Mounted on a standard infantry carrier, the Wasp is capable of throwing fire a distance of many yards. In Vancouver, British Columbia, wartime speed is applied to constructing a complete bungalow in only 8 hours. 72 workmen arrive as the clock strikes 9. The project starts from scratch and material arrives for the laying of floors and raising of joists. Simultaneously, plumbers commence installing piping as the bulldozer crew carries on with grading the lawn. The future home begins to take shape as supplies continuously arrive. By mid-morning, bricklayers are already at work in the family hearthstone. Tailored at factory, every board is numbered. The lock-stave construction principle fits them together without the help of nails. Solidly built, the home is guaranteed to last for 30 years. By noontime, the bungalow is half done. It's time out for a half-hour lunch before the job goes into its next phase, the raising and installing of the gables. The roof is practically all in place as 3 o'clock passes. Now it's time for sodding operations to commence. No seeding or keeping off signs, the lawn is tailor-made too. Using spray guns, painters are allowed 1 hour to apply the first coat. Functioning smoothly like an Army organization, the workers seldom get in each other's way. The last word in electrical work savers are moved into place. The shingling nears completion. "5:05 and the work is almost finished. The estate agent turns their new home over to Mr. and Mrs. Harry Kalick and family. Harry's a welder at the Bédard shipyards, and his wife works in the Boeing aircraft tool room. They are mighty happy to be able to move into their new home without losing precious work hours. Costing less than $5,000, the house that Johnny Canuck built 8 hours ago was a vacant lot. It's a world record for this type of construction, which holds great promise for post-war housing. There's nothing like a cozy spot to hang the hat after the big job's done and we're all home at last.